and welcome to the Dragons Lair podcast in association with Riverside Sports Bar, the home of live sport and great food in Newport. I'm Jamie, and joining me for this one is Gareth Clay. Gareth, how are we?
All good, Jamie. Yeah, good to be on. Missed it, to be honest.
Yeah, we've had a lot of comments. When's the next pod? When you're doing another one? Well, we're back. Calm down, everyone. We are back. We hear you loud and clear. The public has spoken. We are back. This is done a short notice, mind. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, we are back. This is an emergency pod. No Gavin for this one, unfortunately, but rest assured he will be with us next week. So as I just said, this is a pod that we're doing a very short notice because of that statement that was released by the Dragons on Thursday afternoon. And boy, was it quite the statement. I'm going to read it for you. Right, so this is the statement. I'll just read it as it is on the website. Since the publication of the WRU's proposal for the future of Welsh rugby, Dragons RFC has carefully studied the proposed optimal solution. Now, remember, the optimal solution is two teams. We don't know if it's going to be new entities, East or West. That's the talk. It could be two of the current teams, but the WRU want to go down to two teams. Then it says our position. On Tuesday, 2nd of September, we held a formal consultation meeting with the WRU and set out the club's position on two key issues. One, no compelling case has been made for reducing the number of professional teams to two. We remain firm in our view that there is no reason the Dragons can't continue in our current form. The financial and performance data provided by the WRU contained inconsistencies and are based on questionable assumptions. Point two, the governance structures outlined by the WRU are not acceptable. Rugby and commercial operations cannot be separated, and the Dragons will not sign up to a model that gives us no control of on-field performance. The Dragons is a stable, sustainably run club. Having signed the WRU's professional rugby agreement earlier this year, we have financial stability and a clear plan to drive improvements in on-field performance. Our confidence in our position has been reaffirmed by advice from our expert, global recognized legal consultants. Then it says next steps. We are committed to further discussions and will continue to participate in the ongoing consultation. But our position is clear. The WRU must change course. In the meantime, we have begun discussions with our stakeholders, including community clubs, fans, partners, many of whom have also expressed their hope that the WRU will recognise that they need to rethink. And then there's a quote from David Wright, who is, of course, the chairman of the Dragons. He said, "We are extremely disappointed in the initial proposals. They simply don't add up," he says. "We will continue participating in a consultation and we want to find a solution. We are committed to securing a positive future for Welsh rugby and for elite rugby to continue in Gwent, but there is no way we can agree to the proposals as they currently are. Welsh rugby deserves better and the WRU must rethink." Wow, there we go.
What a statement.
Shots fired. Oof. So there you have it. We wasn't expecting that, was we, on a Thursday afternoon?
No.
Gareth, what's your reaction to that statement?
I think pride was my overarching feeling. I'm really proud that the club have come out fighting. That's what I want to see. They've managed to capture how so many of us feel, but managed to put it in a very concise statement. But it's very powerful. They haven't wasted words there. And I think some of the points we'll touch on, a few of the details are really important. Before we get into the detail against the WRU, I think the one thing with the Dragons as well, and they say they've engaged with stakeholders. Shout out to David Buttress for giving out the email address and actually responding to fans. I think that's amazing. I think we're really lucky as a club to have three owners who are really invested in us and so engaged. That's not common. I think that's amazing, and I really appreciate sort of David taking the time out to read.
Inbox must have been flooded though, because he had supporters, not just Dragon supporters, but supporters from all four regions emailing it to me, even at Cardiff supporters, an Osprey supporter emailing him. Fair play to him. He's a good guy, isn't he, David?
He's very good. Yeah, we owe him a great debt, and I think I think if we survive, maybe there should be a bar named after our owners for keeping us going or something. But yeah, it's the statement is absolutely fantastic. I think that is exactly what I want to see from us. I didn't expect to see it, especially so early on, but it's really powerful. I think they've hit the nail on the head, and I feel like the response online, from what I've seen, has been really positive across the board. Other regions are calling for their clubs to come out with something similar in line with us, which is good to see. What were you thinking when you seen it?
Yeah, like I said, I was a bit surprised, did not see this coming. I think it's really, really good, actually, and I'm pleased that we're fighting our corner.
Yeah.
And I've said on this pod that our owners will fight hard for this club. I really believe they will, and I believe they have got the best interest of the club, and that statement shows that.
Yes.
People seem to think the Dragons are just going to roll over and accept this. There's been so much talk about the Ospreys and Scarlets. No one's really talking about this. I feel like nobody's really fighting our corner except for our owners. I'll come on to it later, but this week we've had statements from, the Newport BID, and we've had our MPs now and
Yes.
councillors. We are gaining a lot of support now. There's a lot of traction, which is really important.
Starting to realise the repercussions of losing the Dragons, but yeah, it's good to see the support, and it's what we need.
Absolutely, and I think it strikes the right tone because it pulls no punches, but it's not too aggressive.
No,
it's just right. I think
it is smack on, which shows we've got very experienced and professional owners. It's not a statement that is going to get backlash. It's an impressive statement. Really happy to read it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Dragons had this meeting on Tuesday, right, with the WRU. They then put out this damning statement on Thursday, right? So 2 days after they've met with the WRU, they put out this statement. That says to me that they didn't like what they were hearing from the WRU on Tuesday. That's what I'm slightly concerned about.
Yeah, I felt really proud when I seen that statement, and the more time I had to digest it today, I started to get nervous because you come out swinging when you're on the ropes.
Yeah.
So there is a part of me that thinks, this is a very serious situation. The council coming out and supporting us is great. They wouldn't be doing it if we weren't massively at risk. So it is really scary to see. So it's not. I'm reassured that we're fighting, and we're going to fight our corner. But we still haven't got assurances that we're going to survive, which I guess at the moment we can't have. I think you're probably going to touch on it anyway, but the line around our global legal consultants, that I feel is a very, very strong line. So we know that when we signed the last agreement, we also had a side letter signed, which Buttress stated that was to secure our future. Why would we bother drafting that? That would be time, cost, and having that signed if we didn't feel it would have weight. And I feel that statement is close to threatening the WRU with, okay, mess with us and we'll see you in court. It's not quite there yet, but I feel like it has got that undertone to it, which is good. If you're being threatened to be cut, we should be, fighting with everything we have. So it's quite impressed with that part of the statement as well. So very encouraging.
Yeah. So that's what caught my eye in that statement, that paragraph. I'll just read it out. So our confidence in our position has been reaffirmed by advice from our expert, globally recognized legal consultants. What that's saying is, we've sought legal advice and we feel confident that we've got a strong legal case here.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying. And the other regions will no doubt take legal action as well. I did see Wales Online say that Ospreys and Scarlets were preparing legal action. But I think we got a stronger legal case, to be honest, because we signed the Dragons signed what they believe was a legally binding contract. That's what they said. They believe this document secure their future. For the next 5 years, it was 3 years fixed funding, and then it was 5 years, this PRB deal.
The question, it might have been you actually put it to David, was is it binding both ways? And he was like, well, I would never sign something that was only binding one way. He's an astute businessman. So, I felt at the time it was a smart move that we signed that agreement. And obviously that side letter. So yeah, I think any ammo that we can use to survive, we're going to use, aren't we? So
Yeah. And
smart
look,
work.
I've seen people, supporters saying, "Oh, well, it looks like that deal wasn't worth the paper it was printed on." No, it was a legally binding contract. It has to be worth the paper it was printed on.
Yeah,
The Dragons signed a legally binding deal. They submitted a side letter uh, with legal advice that the WRU accepted. So
yeah,
when people say, "Oh, it wasn't worth the paper it was printed on," well, no, it has to be. It has to count for something.
yeah,
And I think this is where I think the Dragons have slightly more leverage than the other teams when they're launching legal action. Because it has to, right? If you're saying a legally binding contract, it can't be just like, "Oh yeah, we'll forget about that. You're
yeah.
being cut."
And
It's like, no, we signed this deal because we believed that we had a future and we had fixed funding and we had 5 years at least. And now
yeah,
you're taking it away from us. It can't work like that, surely.
exactly. And the side letter again, why would we draft that to give a security if it wasn't given a security? It's not, they didn't ask me to write it, who hasn't got a clue. These are businessmen with a lot of experience. I'm sure, the legal teams that they've got to write these things, this can be a watertight document. So yeah,
Yeah.
it does give me hope. I still have hope that we're going to survive, and I thank our owners for that. Really, that I've still got that hope.
Yeah, because I remember reading, and I think I read out David Wright what his comments were to the Argus, and he was saying, "Look, we've all run multi-million-pound businesses. We've all dealt with legal teams, so they're not daft our owners. They didn't just blindly sign an agreement. We knew they had
Yes,
concerns. They
exactly.
had a lot of criticism for signing at the time, but then when we spoke to David Buttress, he confirmed, yeah, we had concerns, but they were satisfied those concerns were met. Now, obviously, Ospreys and Scarlets were not satisfied, and that's up to them. I get it. I'm not criticizing them for not signing the deal. But I'm kind of glad that we have signed that deal because for me, I think we've got slightly more leverage now. And I don't just buy this idea that, oh, well, it doesn't mean anything. It's not worth the papers printed on. No, it was an agreement. It was an
Yeah,
official PRB agreement that the WRU set and the Dragons signed in good faith because they believed they were going to continue for the next 5 years. It was 3 years fixed funding and 5 years, wasn't it? That was the deal. And the
exactly.
WRU just want us to forget about that now.
And I don't think the WRU want a messy court case. One, they're not going to have the financial backing to do that, and it's just not good. I mean, it's essentially Welsh Rugby Union it's the people's game. They shouldn't be taken. We shouldn't be in court over it. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't come to that. But it does feel like we are in a position of relative strength given the current situation in Wales. It was also great in the statement as well, calling out that there's sort of misinformation. I mean, some of the things in that document from the WRU, my eyes were bleeding reading through it. I mean, saying that there's 3 pro South African sides and things like that. You're like,
I know.
where have they got this info? Like, who's proofread it? And how much does it cost to put all that together? One absolute shambles. It's an absolute waste of money. That is appalling. I couldn't believe what I was reading. The hypotheticals in it. Again, I'm really glad that the Dragons have called that out because it's just not based on anything. There's
Yeah.
no factual evidence to support that 2 teams will bring sustained success, especially at international level. We can all point to Scotland and Italy,
Of course.
never
Yeah.
finishing above third in the Six Nations. And it's just, I've actually been slightly pleasantly surprised that a lot of ex-players, a lot of people in the media have come out against this and said this will be the death of rugby. Because I was nervous that people would be like, yeah, we need change. But no, people can see this is not the way forward. There are the 1 or 2 journos who are, got their ticket on the gravy train that are maybe
Yeah.
still towing the WRU line. But, that's their prerogative. But yeah, there's been a lot of backlash against this. And I'm hoping it's a lot more than the WRU thought they would get, which might make them reconsider. And if you're sat there at home unhappy and you listen to this, tweet the WRU, get online, voice your opinion. Like, don't be quiet about it because if we're gone, you won't have another chance to voice your opinion. So voice it whilst you can.
Well, speaking of voicing opinions, the WRU put out the public consultation survey on September the 1st. What an absolute shambles. Have you filled it in? Did you do it?
um, I did, but I've never been so annoyed about filling something in all my life. I couldn't believe the leading questions. Just
Yeah,
they're not trying to gather information there. They're just trying to get data to manipulate to push their own narrative. It was
yeah,
embarrassing, let alone the formatting and everything of it. That was just poor. Again, how much does this cost? But they're not going to gain anything by it besides being able to publish a bag of lies.
yeah. The questions were loaded,
Yes.
and they were ridiculous. Some of them, do you want successful regions? Do you want successful? Well, yeah, we all want that, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you agree change needs to happen? Well, yeah, again, we know that. But there was no questions about the models. We didn't get an opportunity to
Nope.
give our opinion on which model we preferred. Yeah, there was a bit at the end where you could write a statement, but that was limited to so many characters. There was one question on it. It was absolutely absurd. They asked you to allocate a percentage
That
to
was
each
ridiculous.
area of the game, like grassroots, international, pro rugby, women's. I'm reading this thinking, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I thought that was
Yeah.
the worst question of the lot.
Yeah, I felt like, oh, brilliant. The WRU are giving me a chance now to voice my opinion and relay how I feel. And as I went through it, I was like, why am I even doing this? They don't care. They do not care what any of us think by looking at this. And yeah, you're right. The questions were loaded. Like they'll just say, yeah, obviously we want better results for the national team. So they can be like, oh, well, look, everyone said they want better results as the national teams. Let's cut to two. No, nobody is saying that. They're going to manipulate the answers to push their narrative, and
Yeah, that's
it's
what exactly what
unacceptable,
they'll do.
really.
Yeah, that's exactly what they will do. I was really annoyed. I finished the survey later and I was like, what an absolute joke.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's insulting to the people that was filling those surveys in.
yeah,
The leading questions and just yeah, they know exactly what they're doing at WRU. It was very cynical, wasn't it?
cynical is the right word, and it's just given me absolutely no confidence in the leadership of the WRU now. So
Now, did you have any? Did you have any confidence in them?
I tend to be a little bit optimistic. I did at one point, but yeah, no, that had gone a long time ago. Um, yeah, I mean, cut into two teams is just absolutely absurd. It's so ridiculous. I find it hard to even bother arguing it because it's just so absolutely insane. Where are people going to play? Oh, this just the amount against it. It's a pretty comprehensive argument to not go to two, and I just think the WU have to listen. If they don't, it's absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah. I'm sure the other regions will put out a statement in due course. We know that Lance Bradley has been busy on social media promoting St. Helens. Scarlets have been making a lot of noise since House of Luxury came on board. Their chief experience officer, Simon Kolowski, is an interesting character, to say the least. Coming out with stuff like we tend to go with his blood on the streets. What else did he say? He said we like to get in when everyone else is getting out, and we like to get out when everyone is getting in. It's all a bit too David Brent for my liking. I'm not going to lie. Cardiff aren't going to say anything controversial because they are owned by the union, so they have to tread carefully.
Yep.
But we are the first team to officially come out and say these proposals don't add up and it's unacceptable. And Welsh Rugby
Yes.
deserves better. And I think that's really good that we've landed the first blow.
Yes.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
And also, as well, you alluded to earlier, when you look at the replies on social media, there's a lot of Cardiff, Ospreys, and Scarlet supporters saying, "Well done, Dragons."
Yes.
And I'm seeing a lot of messages from people saying, "I wish my club would put out a statement like that." In fact, I
Yeah.
had a message from Hugh Griffin, who does the Soft Sponsor Side Steps pod. He said, I wish Scarlets had put out a statement. Maybe they will in time, but we've got there first. Like I said, we've landed the first blow. I think that's really important. Um, it feels like a significant week for the Dragons, doesn't it? So the Newport Business District, they put out a statement. They've said removing professional sport from the city centre will have a chilling impact on the local economy and could sound the death knell for parts of the hospitality sector, which will see the loss of regular trade almost overnight. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Newport East MP, my MP, Jessica Morden. She's lent her support to the Dragons. She said, if we lose Dragons in Newport, our communities will lose vital services that people depend upon. Without the Dragons, those community initiatives face closure, removing essential support systems for families, the elderly, and vulnerable residents. And this will no doubt impact on other public services. Absolutely right. I think the community aspect is being lost on this because all the regions do good community work, but
Yes.
I know I don't want to annoy supporters of the other teams, but I think our community team is the best.
Well, we've won UK national awards for this, so
we won a URC award for our
yes,
community work. We do outstanding work in the community. The sporting memories, the kids camps we do, Ramadan rugby, the elderly care that we do. They work their bollocks off, the community team. Mike Sage does a brilliant job.
yes.
But like I said, it's won countless awards. It's a very, very good community team, and people rely on those services. And if that's gone, you know, these people rely on those services, and if it's gone, it's going to be devastating for them. And again, I just don't think the WRU are thinking about that. They're not thinking about the wider impact. It's not just about the team. It's not just about results. It's going to have a serious knock-on effect. And yeah, the community aspect. I think we do the community work so well.
Yeah, and like you touched on all the community work we do there is absolutely amazing. And then the other touch points, like the footfall going to games. There's people like small independent businesses that will rely on the footfall of match days. Whether that's people having coffees or bite to eat or lunch, or having pints in town. I know with my friend, one of the main reasons we ever go into Newport Centre is if there's sport on at Ronnie Parade, whether that be Dragons or Newport County, and we're spending money in town. Without that, there's just less reason to go into town, and it's going to it'll be the final nail in the coffin, I think, for Newport, which again just has that knock-on effect everywhere. It's really sad. So it's good though that the councillors have finally come out and voiced this. Again, it does show how serious this situation is.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they've thrown their weight behind it. I'm not sure what else they can do, but if there is anything else they can do, they should be right. I think they should be writing to the WRU, not just putting out a public statement. I think send a message directly to the WRU would be pretty important.
Yeah. So I did a podcast with the 1912 Exiles this week as well, which I think is going to be out next week. We recorded it in the Riverside, who sponsored this pod. We spoke to Dan, the business owner, and he's worried. He's worried that if the Dragons go, it's going to have a severe knock-on effect for his business. He fears he could be even out the business if Ronnie Parade goes altogether. And it's really worrying. The hospitality sector is struggling as it is. You take professional sport out of the city centre, which is already struggling, let's be honest. I always like to be positive about Newport, but there are pubs closing. And it's... when the steelworks closed in Llanwern, and everyone said that was the start of the decline for Newport, wasn't it? Because nobody was spending money anymore.
Yeah.
I feel it could have a similar impact. I think if you took Ronnie Parade out at Newport, if it's gone and there's no professional sport, I think it'll kill the city centre. I think it'll kill Newport.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah, I agree. I just think how a business is going to thrive. It's like a focal point of a city centre. I remember reading a stat, and this was quite a while ago, when Swansea City were in the Premiership. It was worth £30 million a year to the economy in Swansea, outside of the football club. I mean, that is an outrageous amount of money being spent. I know it's not quite getting Premiership crowds, but it is huge to an economy having a sports team. And if you lost the Dragons and that knock-on effect to lose the county at Ronnie Parade, well, it'd essentially be the death of the county as well, wouldn't it? To not be at their home ground at Rodney Parade where they get a good atmosphere because of that good footfall. You get people going over from town. It's, really worrying. And, the mental side of it as well for people. It's people's release at the end of the week to go watch the sports team. It's a place where people have bonded, people make friends. It's how, I don't know, it's what people have got in common. It's the time I get to spend with like my dad. It's the time I want to spend with my son going forward. He's only 4, but I'm going to take him over for the Scarlets preseason game. It's just, it'd be devastating to lose it. So again, the owners realise this and they're fighting for us. So we can't thank them enough. I just hope it's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And I spoke about this as well on that pod I did. it's really good that we've got MPs, councillors coming out, like the Newport City Council leader, Dimitri Petruni, came out in support as
Yes.
well, which is really important. We need more councillors, more
Strong
members of
statement as
parliament.
well, to be fair.
Yes, absolutely. But action speaks louder than words. So it's all very good saying we support, but what are you going to do? Are you going to lobby the WRU?
Yes.
And say
Yes.
this could really have a huge detrimental effect on Newport, the business sector, the hospitality sector. Have the WRU even thought about that when they've drawn up these proposals? I bet they haven't, have they? I bet they
I
haven't.
don't think they've thought about a lot in general, to be
No.
honest. Looking at everything that they've put out, not a lot of thoughts. They couldn't even get the number of South African pro teams right. We're in the same league with them. I mean, this, yeah. I don't think there's a lot of thinking going on at WRU HQ.
No, not at all. So reflecting on the statement, then you said that gives you a little bit more reassurance, then, does it, about your future? Like when you read that statement today, did you feel more confident? Because you know me, I'm a pessimist, right? You're my answer. That's just me. I'm still fearing the worst. I am still fearing that we are going to be axed, whether it be 3 teams, 2 teams, whatever. Um, I am prepared for the worst, but you got a little bit more hope than me, haven't you?
Well, it's a double-edged sword because I think we wouldn't make the statements if this situation wasn't quite dire and quite desperate. But it was a strong statement. The bit around the legal team, that does give me some hope. My worry is that we might end up being fudged with being a development team, which I won't go into too much detail on what I think about development teams, but a development team isn't a development team if it's just a poorly funded team. That is not a development region. Development region should have just as much funding, but more of it going into facilities and top class coaching for the youngsters to come through. It shouldn't just be a budget region just to appease us surviving. I don't want to see that. I want to see equal funding across the regions. But I do have a
But we're not going to get that, mate. The WRU already
no.
said that. We have to. I'm sorry, but we have to be honest. We have to rule it out. The WRU said we're not going to fund teams equally anymore. So if we do survive, then we're probably not going to be on the same level as
there is the
funding.
option B, is it 3 equally funded teams? But
Yeah, which as I said on the 1912 XL's pod, I like the sound of that compared to 2 teams. If I'm being honest, this East and West nonsense. I think that's ridiculous.
absolutely ridiculous.
2 plastic teams, no history. Where are they going to play? What are they going to be called? Who is going to support them? If you got 2 new entities, you're disenfranchising 4 sets of fans there, aren't you?
Yes.
Let's be honest. Whereas if you keep 2 current teams, then it's only 2, which isn't great, but it's better than disenfranchising and alienating 4 sets of fans. The 3 teams one, I am open to that, but I don't want to lose a club, and it could be us. If it's 3 teams, that could be us gone.
That's it. I think 3 teams suddenly sounds like a better option because we're faced with 2. In reality, nobody actually wants 3 teams. No one wants to cut a team. And you could look at it, do we represent East, a Cardiff Central, and then there's a team in the West, which I don't want to see a team go.
No.
I hate the Scarlet, so I want to keep that rivalry. And the Ospreys are the only team we beat, so we got to keep them. But no, seriously, I don't want to see any team cut. But yeah, I back to your point though. I do feel confident that we aren't having our bellies tickled by this. We are fighting. Like I said, we've only had that meeting 2 days ago, and we've come out pissed off. And we've gone,
Which
no.
slightly concerns me. On the one hand, I think it's good, but like I said, obviously, I don't want to say our meeting didn't go well because we wasn't there. We don't know what was said or what happened. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting, I gotta be honest. But it seems to me, from the outside looking in, we didn't like what we was hearing, and we've put out this statement.
Yeah. Well, in part of the statement asking the WRU to change direction, it means in that meeting, the direction is 2. Which we know they've already said is the preferred, but they've
That's
obviously
the
said
solution. That's what
they've
they
said
want.
in that meeting, yeah, we want 2, and we've just gone, well, no. And I imagine the Scarlets and the Ospreys are both going to come out of that meeting feeling the same as us.
Yeah,
Cardiff, I mean, Cardiff are WRU owned, and they're the only safe team anyway, aren't they? So I don't think they massively
Well, they're not
care.
safe if it goes to brand new East and West, are they? Because they'll be rebranded. I think I can't see them just staying as Cardiff. I think if they're going to do this East and West, they've got to completely rebrand and start again, even though I think it's absolute nonsense.
But even then, it'll be played out of Cardiff, won't it?
Yeah, you'll still get pro rugby in Cardiff. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying to you is it might not be Cardiff Rugby now as we know it. It might be a completely brand new entity, which if they are
Right,
going to go
yeah.
down this wretched route, maybe that's what they're better off doing.
Have you honestly seen anyone think that's a good idea?
Yes. I've seen certain columnists.
Oh, right, yeah. On the gravy train.
I have seen accounts on social media, like Project Reunion and all these other ones thinking it's great. And I don't want to name names of these people, but yeah,
But
there
we
are
do
some.
have your names, and if we survive, you're not welcome at Rodney Parade.
Yeah, there are some people who are open to this idea. But will they actually go and watch them? Will they actually buy a season ticket? Or are they just talking shite on social media because that's the easy thing to do? Because I can remember when Dragons, when they dropped Newport Gwent, you had all these people on social media going, "Oh, I'll go and watch the Dragons if they drop the Newport game. Drop the Newport game. I'll be there." Did they come? No.
No.
It was posturing on social media, slow the bollocks. So when these people say, "Yeah, I can get behind that. I support that," will they really?
I can't
I'm
see
not,
it.
I'm not, I'm not, I'm not going to buy into it. But if that makes
Nobody's
me
got an
weird, as
affiliation.
one columnist said, if that makes me weird for not buying into it, then I'm sorry, no, because I don't want to lose the team I support and the team, they're my local club. I don't want East Wales. That means nothing to me. Who says they're from East Wales, right? We all know someone from West Wales, and you say, "Where are you from, mate?" "Oh, yeah, I'm from so and so, like Carmarthen in West Wales." Nobody ever says, "Oh, yeah, I'm from East Wales," do they? Have you ever heard anyone say, "I'm from East Wales"? You
Yeah,
don't,
I've
do you?
never
You
ever
don't.
said it. No,
You say you're from
never.
Cardiff, Newport, or wherever. Nobody says East Wales. West Wales is a thing, but nobody says East Wales. It's just I can't get behind it.
And
That
that
does that
journal
doesn't interest me.
calling fans who are opposed to losing their beloved club that they might have vested in for the best part of 30 years weird and strange is just probably not the best use of their time or influence online. Whether they think they're trying to do it for good or not is like them to maybe take a second look next time they decide to tweet calling fans weird. The ones who are essentially funding the game as well, the paying fan. That's what the WRU, I think, are overlooking. Like, you're going to alienate all the people who are actually supporting Welsh rugby and putting the money in and going to support these clubs and buying the jerseys and going to the community things. You alienate that. Like, what's actually going to be left? You can't support the national team on armchair fans. It doesn't bring in the money.
Yeah. No, I think the problem is if you're not invested in a team, if you don't support any of the regions, I think it's difficult for them to understand what it means to not have these teams anymore. Like we're invested, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
true.
for us, losing the Dragons, that would be disastrous. And for fans of the other regions, they
Yes.
can't bear the thought of losing a team. But if you have no affiliation to any of these regions, then it's easy for you to spout this stuff on social media without having any understanding of what it's like to lose a team because you're not invested. So you
But
probably really
even
shouldn't be saying this stuff,
no,
really.
you're spot on. But even then, these people should also be able to understand that two teams, there's no evidence that brings success at a national level, an international level. Like
We know
this,
it
just
doesn't. You mentioned earlier, Scotland.
yeah.
They've
So
won
what?
no Six Nations Grand Slams or championships.
So whether
They
they've got
struggled to
skin
get
in
out
the
to their
game
group.
there, they should be looking at if they want it to benefit Team Wales. Well, that's not going to benefit Team Wales. Where are these players going to play? We often get these things on Wales online, and 8 players to look out for. Oh, these youngsters. Where are they going to play if we only got 2 teams? They're not playing. They're not going to be getting any pro rugby. There's just not going to be enough exposure for young, talented Welsh playing rugby players. It's just absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, but they want to use the SRC, don't they, to put these players in, these young players.
I mean, it's just not. That's just again a pipe dream because there's going to be more money on offer in Division 2 in France and in the Championship in England, and that's where players will go. There's not going to be enough money in the SRC to bring it up to that standard, is there? And if you are really going to put in that money to bring the SRC to a pro standard, we'll just have 4 pro teams. Bring in enough money for that.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Not at all. Yeah. So well done, Dragons. That's a good
Yes.
statement. They're fighting hard. I think whatever happens, I don't think we're going to die wondering, are we? You know,
No.
we know we're going to be fighting as hard as we can. We know we're in good hands. The only thing I will say, though, is although I am pleased that we're fighting hard off the field, we really need to start fighting hard on the field because it's no good, throwing punches and putting out strong statements, but then we're losing every week.
Yeah.
There's no point to that at all because it weakens the argument, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've got to change that narrative, haven't we?
Yeah,
We
and
are
that's something that we've
easy
spoken
target.
about. Exactly, we've spoken about this so many times on the pod, about changing the narrative. Like I said, it's all very well coming out and saying this stuff, which is great. But then if you're losing every week, you're not changing the narrative. The critics still want you, axed. I hope the players understand this. I
Yeah.
hope the message, I hope somebody at the Dragons has explained to the players, look, you've really got to go out there now and start performing,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they need to. We need to see some performances and some encouragement. Because if
Yeah.
they lose in every week like last season, it's going to be very easy for people to look at the Dragons and go, see, this is why we should go to 3 teams or 2 teams. Dragons are
Yeah.
hopeless. They got all these players, new coaches, they're still rubbish. They've got to prove a point. I think all the players have got to prove a point, and all of them, when they put on that Dragons jersey this season, they've got a responsibility to perform. Whether that's the academy kids or these new signings or the stalwarts that's already there. The message has
100%.
to be loud. If I'm in that dressing room, if I'm a coach, I'm saying, boys, you got fight every game like it's your last now, because you're playing for your
Exactly.
futures. That's why I'd be saying to them.
100%. And being Gwent men, that's something the fans get behind. When we see
Yeah,
the team fight, we get behind it. We've been so poor, yet we've still got a core base of fans. We start to perform a bit better and get some results. That crowd will grow. More people will go. It's
yeah,
an easier sell to say, do you fancy going over to the Dragons if we're not losing every week? And
yeah,
we will get behind that team. I'm really excited for the season to start. I know we'll get into that more on the next one, but
yeah.
I'm optimistic. Whether I should be or not.
We say this every season, though, don't we?
Yeah.
We say this every season. I
If
was
we can't get
optimistic last
excited,
season. I was
yeah.
happy with the recruitment last season and the
Oh,
season
dear
before
me.
that. And
Yeah.
look what happened.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. We really got to do our talking on the field.
It's normally the best time of the season, this, isn't it? Because we're not losing.
Well, can't
But
lose if you're not playing.
yeah. Dear me.
It's frustrating though because I was genuinely looking forward to the season, and
Yes.
this is just hanging over us now, isn't it? This is why I hate. We can't really look forward and get excited about the new season because we've got this threat of being cut hanging over us.
But
And
everything
it's
is
bound to have an
tainted, isn't it?
effect on the players as well, though, isn't it? Like I don't know how much this has been spoken about in the dressing room in Estrabad, or indeed at the other regions, but it must be, mustn't it? The players must
100%.
be talking about this and fearing. I mean, the WRU said, "Oh, we'll honour all the contracts," but it's not really the point because they don't know where they're going to be
No,
or
and
where
that
they're
means
going
you
to
might get
play.
paid for one more year because after that, well, where are you going to go? Suddenly your options are cut in half. You know,
Yeah,
it's pretty scary. It must be a stress for the players. But yeah, let's hope we actually use it, like you said. But like you say, it's hanging over us. It affects everything. So Greg's a big Dragons fan off the terrace,
yeah,
and he messaged me the under-18s team, the under-17s team, and a boy's playing from Abercarn, the club he supports, and he's like,
mm,
"Oh, that's good, really positive, all excited." And my first thought was, right, so you want to see him come through the Dragons Academy and then play for the Dragons? Well, that could just be taken away, and I'm instantly starting to get annoyed about it again. And get
yeah.
everything is going back to that situation because the cloud is hanging over all of Welsh rugby at the moment, and I just hopefully we come out of it the other side. And yeah, let's concentrate on the rugby. That's why we're all here. That's why we're fans who engage because we like rugby, and it's just secondary at the moment.
It is, but back to the point. I do think we really need to see some
We
fight on
really
on
do.
the field
Yeah.
because I was thinking the other day about what David Buttress said on our pod. Do you remember when he said, "What right do we have to exist if we just win 2 or 3 games every season?"
Yeah.
Now, if I'd said that, certain people, we know who they are, would accuse me of being negative. They would, you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that came from the co-owner. And he's
yeah,
right. And I do think this is an organization, and I will be honest about it. I do think we got to a stage where we became comfortable with losing. I think even David said that as well.
yeah.
That can't continue anymore. That
No.
cannot continue. And it's because of that that we're probably vulnerable and up for the chop, even though that, off the field,
Yeah.
we're in
Well,
a very good place. And that's the frustrating thing. I know off the field, we're in a much better position than the other regions, but what continues to let the Dragons down is results and performances that will always be used against us. And that's the
yeah.
frustrating thing because I think the foundations are there, the potential is there. We got really good owners, but the on-field product has let us down for so long. And I do fear that that's going to be our undoing.
And most fans in Wales, they only see the on-field bit.
Yeah, they don't
Because
care about
like
anything else.
I don't care what the Scarlets are doing off field in the community. So why would they care about us? I look at them play rugby, and yeah, the results need to be better. I do feel like we've got a better squad this year. We've strengthened in important positions, especially up front. I want to. I'm confident we can get some results this year with a big start. And I went to the I seen you there at the family fun day. Some of those new players, there's
Yep.
some big boys there. I mean, breaking news: Big Mac is big. Like
They don't call him Big Mac for nothing.
he
He is
is,
huge.
he is massive, mate. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I really hope the Dragons can do what Cardiff haven't done really and get the most out of him because I
Yeah,
think he'd be such a big asset for us.
yeah. We've lacked size for years. You think
Yeah.
we have added a good bit of size. So yeah, it was great to see all the players there. And that's another thing, like the cloud looming over. Go to that family fun day, fantastic day when the rain stopped. And there's people like Aaron Wainwright, Rio Dale, like Wales stars there. Kids are having photos with them. I mean, like, if anything's gonna want to make you continue playing rugby if you're a little kid, it's meeting people like Aaron Wainwright, who was so good, like giving up so much time with everyone all day. And who's going to do that if we don't exist? Where are these kids getting their inspiration from? It's just not going to happen. And sorry to keep reverting back to that looming cloud over us, but it's just ridiculous. But fair play to all the players as well, really engaging with all the kids and everything at the family fun day. I thought it was well worth
So
going
did
to.
you manage to speak to any players and what were they telling you? Did they come up in conversation at all? Did you manage to
Is
have a
this
chat?
is this a leading question? I
It's a WRU leading question, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I did speak to a few different players. They were all great to chat to, and from what I understand, preseason as usual it is going well. Sounds like Dale, the new coach, is bringing a lot of detail to the side, which I think we've probably missed in the past. So people really knowing their roles and what to do in certain situations, which
Yeah.
I think when we watch the Dragons, we all agree we don't always know what we're doing.
Well, I think
Um,
it will help our defence if we actually have a defence coach, wouldn't it?
yeah,
That would be a good start.
yeah, we're going from no detail to something. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think, and I thought the interview with Dale was really good actually. That the Dragons posted seems pretty good guy. But yeah, the exciting news. I spoke to Funaki. First of all, the guy's built like a bus. He is wide, like he looks like a seriously strong
So
man.
can you confirm he's real? Because
He
Gavin
is
thinks
real.
he doesn't exist. He's a hologram. He's an NFT and all this stuff.
Yeah,
So you've met him in person. You can officially confirm that
yeah,
he is
shook
real.
his hand like he
Right.
was physically there.
Yeah.
And from asking him obviously about his injury and how he's getting on, he's excited. He says he's targeting the Scarlets preseason game. So I think that is big news for us. I think having Funaki back as a big big ball carrying back rower, that's exactly what we've needed. Especially like when we could be missing Wayno. Like, look, let's not expect him to be 100% first game. He's had a long time out and he might take a bit of time to get his best form back. But great to have him as an option throughout the season. And we've got a lot of options in the back row. So I don't think we desperately need to force him at the start, but really good that he's back. Spoke to Kai Evans as well. He said he's back training with the group and will be targeting October to be mid to late October.
Oh, that's good
Be
because
up for
Chris Kerwin
selection.
said he wouldn't be available to like December, I think he
Yeah,
said,
yeah. So I
in
was
his
really pleased.
Argus column.
He said
Mm.
it's gone really well, his rehab. So he's feeling really fit. Yeah, and seeing a few of the players, they look in good shape. A few of them, like Levi Douglas, he looks a big guy as well. Seb Davis, obviously huge. It's when you see these people up close, being a mere mortal, you're like, wow, yeah, these are some big fellas. So yeah, and it seemed, good bit of camaraderie amongst the Dragons boys as well. They seemed a pretty happy bunch. So we're looking good. And a few of the youngsters as well, I'm really excited to see. Like, obviously, like Hugh Anderson had a great year last year and excited to see him kick on. But Harry Ackerman, he looks in good shape.
He's bulked up a bit, hasn't he? I've noticed.
Yeah, I think he's looking good, and I think he's a player that I'm really excited by. He's had some terrible luck with injuries, but he's so young. Obviously, we're blessed with the 9-1 at 12 as well, but I think Harry Ackerman is someone who could really kick on as well. So yeah, it's great to see all the players. My 4-year-old wasn't massively interested in them, more interested in his Dragons flag, to be fair. But great day, and what a great event to put on by the Dragons for the kids. I think it's really, really good that they do that, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a good day. I thought the Taylor Swift singer was good. I actually knew more songs than what I realised, which is slightly worrying. He's like, oh, I know this. I know it's Taylor Swift. I knew that. Yeah, I thought she was good. She was only a young girl.
She
I thought
was
she was
good,
really
yeah,
good. My daughter wasn't that impressed, I'll be honest, but she was grumpy for most of the days. Don't know why. No, it was a good day, and like I say, it's nice to see you, and it was well attended, and we do these things really well, don't we? I saw some county fans say as well, why don't we ever do anything, like this? And no, it's good. It was a good day,
Yeah.
and yeah, I am looking forward to the season. I am optimistic. I just wish we didn't have this.
Yeah.
As you keep saying, this cloud hanging over us, and it is, isn't it? It's just like, oh, because it's spoiling it for me a little bit. It's dampening my excitement for it.
It is, yeah. It does put a bit of a bleak picture on things, and obviously the main part of the event was the kit launch as well.
Yes. So the kit is out now. It's amber, not a lot of black. It is mostly amber. It's clean looking. It's quite fresh. It's not plastered with too many sponsors. Now I know that's important commercially, and sponsorship is, important to all clubs. But I don't like seeing shirts covered in loads of sponsors.
Yeah.
And we have been guilty of that in the past, as have the Scarlets and other clubs. I really like it. Some people are saying they're not too keen on the scales on the shirt. I mean, I will remind them it's not the first time a Dragon shirt has had scales. The 2018 shirt had scales as well. So what do you think of the shirt? I quite like it.
I loved it. I really like it. I think, not to get too political with Newport Gwent and everything, like black and amber is Newport's colours. Amber, I feel like, is a good colour for us to be represented by. When we were going towards the black or the dark sort of charcoals before, I just feel like it didn't really give us an identity.
Ospreys, when it was all in black, you're like, why are we all in black?
Yeah, and there's just a lot of teams sort of where that I feel like we really stand out. It feels like it's our sort of color. The trim around the pitch as well. That's been there for a couple of years. I felt like an affiliation to the top. Really liked it as well. Bought one instantly. Got one for my little boy as well.
Nice.
He had it on straight away. I think it's a lovely kit. Like you said, it's not plastered in too many sponsors. I mean, trying to get sponsors with everything going on must be absolutely. Imagine trying to sign a deal with a sponsor and not knowing if you're going to exist. It's mad. I think it's one thing if Welsh Rugby can get a bit more stable sponsorship. One big sponsor would be.
But I should point out the Dragons and the other regions are still, getting sponsorship. We've just signed a deal with St. Joseph's Hospital, I believe.
Yes.
Sponsorship deal with them. So we are still, I think Cardiff today announced Ron Skinner and Sons sponsorship. So we are still getting our sponsorship. But I know what you mean. I think going forward, the uncertainty, it is probably off-putting to a lot of sponsors.
Yeah.
They just don't know what's going to happen.
No. But I think the kit was great. They had a 9-1 in. Ryan Woodman and Hugh Anderson up on stage as well, all looking good in the kit. Probably all looking a bit better in it than a lot of us are going to be looking in it after a couple of pints in town. But yeah, it's really nice. So yeah, excited to get over and the sea of amber on the terrace.
Yeah, I really like it. There was a lot of grumbling from Gwenties in particular about on the video it said made in Newport, and they didn't like that, but I just think, look, this is a Newport based team. The player on the parade, You know, Rodney Preece at home, Newport's at home. We're playing amber, black and amber. It's just the way it is. You know, you don't have to buy it. You can buy the away shirt because I'm pretty sure the away shirt is going to tap into the Gwent thing more because that's what happened last year, wasn't it? It was like Monmouthshire
It's
blue, and they did that video, didn't they, about the history of
it's
Monmouth. So
exactly that. I'm pretty sure the
yeah,
Dragons actually tweeted when somebody mentioned the it being affiliated to Newport, being like, "Well, wait for the away." And actually, a couple of the players told me that they love the away kit. They're like, "What, the away kit is the one to get." I had to go and get the home because I like that.
yeah.
I think it is our sort of color. I do like the amber. But yeah, I think the people are pretty excited about the away, which I believe comes out on the weekend.
Oh
I
right,
think
okay.
I think we're wearing it away at Hartpury.
Oh right, okay.
I think that's going to be the launch.
Interesting. As long as it's not grey, I don't care. I hate grey kits. I hated that grey one that we did a
Yeah, yeah.
couple of years ago. I really didn't like that.
We do a lot
Um,
of good kits, though, to be fair. I think
yeah,
VX3 have been pretty tidy with us. I think we've
yeah. And the county, I think VX3 done a
yeah.
fantastic
Oh,
job for Dragons and Newport County. There's only two shirts I haven't liked since VX3 took over. One of them was that I just mentioned that grey kit because I hate grey. It's bad luck. I just think of Man United when they wore
yeah,
that
yeah.
grey kit. Honestly, grey kits are horrible and I hate the colour grey. And I really didn't like that eco green, forest green rovers
Oh,
knockoff that we
yeah.
had. I
Yeah.
hate it. I know
Yeah.
it's for a good cause and all that, eco dragons. I understand what's going on there, but I hate that shirt. Horrible.
Yeah.
Did not like it. Forest Green Rovers. Can't be
Yeah.
doing. I
Yeah, it
can't be
was a
doing
bit.
with Forest Green Rovers. Sorry.
Yeah, in general, though, I do think, yeah, we have churned out some good stuff. And obviously, the retro one that you're donning now is a
Mm,
good one as well, to be fair. I don't know if we get another one of them this year.
I don't know, but I like this because it's so comfortable, and
Yeah.
you know it's going to last. A good
Yes.
cotton rugby shirt will last 2 years and years if you look after it.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I probably will buy. Well, I do want to buy the polo shirt and the t-shirt, the black and orange, which I think is really nice. The
Yeah.
black and
Yeah.
orange
Nice.
ones.
Yeah.
I probably won't buy the shirts because I don't really wear rugby shirts like that, but I prefer the leisure range. But this one I think I'll keep
Nice.
but
Yeah,
for
I
a
do
long
like it.
while. It's good. It's good. Right. Okay. I think we've covered that now, the statement and the kit. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Dragons come out firing. I'm sure the other regions will as well. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. It's Welsh rugby's going to get pretty interested as they over the next few weeks.
You and me.
Oh dear. Just before we move on to news, then, if you like what we do, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. A 5-star review will get you a mention on the pod. Not 3, not 4, not 2, 5-star. And if you prefer to watch, you can watch us on YouTube, on the Rap YouTube channel. So yeah, get involved and leave us a review. That would be very nice indeed because it helps us out. Right, brief bit of news then. So Dragons have brought in a replacement for Dane Blacker and this Irish scrum half Niall Armstrong from Exeter Chiefs. 25-year-old Belfast-born scrum half made 20 appearances for the Chiefs and will now contest the number 9 jersey with Wales international Roger Williams. Dragons said they were over the moon to sign him. Oh dear. Oh dear. And boy, did they like using that, didn't they? In their emails and their
Yes,
socials.
it
We're over
did.
the moon.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we get the Dragons. We get the pun. Yeah, we
Oh
get
dear
it.
me.
Um, I don't really have any thoughts about this because I don't know Niall Armstrong at all. He's not a player that came to my mind. I don't watch much Exeter Chiefs. I can't tell you if it's a good or bad signing. I don't really know anything about him. Do you?
No, not a player I was massively aware of. Probably fits the sort of age profile. Well, maybe someone a bit more with a bit more experience. But I've seen a couple of comments online saying, "Well, what about our two youngsters? I mean, you need 4 scrum halves. If Rodri's away with Wales or Rodri gets injured, you can't then just have 2 youngsters. Because if one of them gets a knock, honestly, who's playing? Like you need
Yeah.
4 scrum halves. So I'm glad we've added another senior option. So I think it's not going to be costing us the world. Probably, hopefully, a smart bit of business. But let's hope really that one of, if not both of our youngsters, kick on and put some good pressure on to get in that 23. That's what we
Yeah.
really want to see.
But I thought we were going to go for a more experienced option, though. I have to be honest, because
Yeah,
this guy is not that experienced. You know, he's not first choice for Exeter. He's only 25. I thought we were going to go for someone more in the late 20s, early 30s bracket.
yeah.
But like I said, I've got no opinion on it. I've got no idea. It could be good. I think it's one of those we just have to wait and see how he gets on. But that's not to say that Shea Hope and Morgan Lloyd are out of the picture. Absolutely not. I'm a big fan of both of them, but I
Yeah,
think you've got to have a decent experienced backup as well.
yeah, 100%.
And the likes of Morgan Lloyd and Shea Hope, they can ply their trade and Super Rugby company, can't they? They're not going to be sitting on the sidelines doing nothing.
Yeah.
And we got Logan Franklin as well from Wales under 20s. He's a talented
Yeah,
prospect.
I
So
think
we've got some good youngsters there.
we have got three good youngsters there. And
Yeah,
I think they're quite different as well in their
yeah,
styles. So yeah, quite like our scrum half stock.
yeah. No, all good. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on. He'd probably feature this weekend for Harper, I would have thought. Some nice news. Friend of the pod, Ollie Griffiths, he's returned to the Dragons as a strength and conditioning coach 9 months after retiring because of a tumour on his spine. So Ollie has been working as a personal fitness coach since retiring, and he's now been confirmed on Philo Tiatia's staff in a part-time role. So he's going to work alongside head of conditioning Ryan Harris 2 days a week with a focus on the forwards while also assisting with individual programs and helping players on their return from injury. So nice news, that, isn't it? It's good to see Ollie back at the club.
100%. Dragons legend, really, isn't he? I think we spoke a lot on his retirement, but absolute hero. Great to have him on as well. Yeah, just good to have a guy like that in the building. I mean, the shape on the bloke is insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think he's good character to have in the group. Very professional, very driven. So yeah, can only be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Ollie said they've got some close mates here, so it's a little bit apprehensive about how I'd feel coming back as a coach, but the squad has changed a lot since I finished. Hasn't it, just? And the squad has changed a lot since I finished. I really enjoyed it. The Dragons have been a part of my life for so many years, and it's great to be back and to be part of the team. Really lovely guy when you had him on the pod.
Yeah.
Was you with us for that one?
Yes. Yeah, I was
He
on for
was,
that one.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really nice guy.
Top
So
guy.
yeah, I'm glad to see him back on the pod.
Good stuff.
Some under 18s news. So it's the championships going on at the moment. So Dragons lost their opener against a strong Cardiff side, 45-35 at the Arms Park. If you haven't seen Lucid prop Rudy Creel's try, please do. What a try that was.
What a
I mean,
boy.
those are skills a Lucid prop really shouldn't have, but that was incredible, wasn't it?
Honestly,
that little crubber through and the pace.
Lewis Rees-Zammit does that and it's getting projected onto the face of the moon. Like that was absolute quality. I was loving seeing that. They're playing some good stuff.
They are. And then after that, the Dragons under 18s hosted Ospreys up in Australia, and they won 33-17. Good result. Yeah. So that means Dragons are currently second in the table behind Cardiff, who are unbeaten. I think Cardiff are going to take some stopping, but they've always got good academy teams, haven't they, in fairness? So, yeah, encouraging. The future is bright. Hopefully, like you said earlier, you say the future is bright, but then you say that, and then you have to remind yourself, oh, well, actually, where are these kids going to play if we get cut?
That is the genuine effect. Like I watch the highlights of those games, Dragons play. I'm like, oh yeah, great. Look at these youngsters, like playing a nice brand of rugby. Then you just think, well, this isn't just going to exist next year, is it, or the year after? Like it's just, the club. But to the point, good to see them. Good to see them doing well. And yeah, that try. If anyone hasn't seen it, go give it a watch. Awesome.
Absolutely outstanding. A winger would be proud of that try, let alone a prop. So it was brilliant. Dragons away to Hartbury this weekend, first pre-season. I finally had my digital season ticket, so I'm excited now. I didn't have it when they said they've issued all the season tickets, but I emailed the ticket office, and fair play, they were quite responsive, and they sent it out. So it's on my phone now, which I think is better. Personally, I know some people prefer cards, but I think it's great. I'm glad they've gone digital. So it's starting to feel a bit real now that the rugby's starting again, which is nice. I wonder what Philo... Well, I was thinking this. Do you think he knows what his starting 15 is yet? Or do you think he's just using these pre-season fixtures to sort of have a look at everywhere and mix it up? But I'm just thinking in the back of my mind. Because the thing is, there's been so much change at the Dragon. So we're going to talk about this next week. We're going to look at the squad. And then we're going to realise this is a very different squad now.
Yeah.
That's a very different look to it. So I wonder in the back of his mind if he's got a preferred starting 15.
There'd be question marks over a few positions, which is good. Like we should have that competition. a few players are probably nailed on in there who probably maybe won't even feature this weekend, like Wayne Owen. A couple of the other internationals maybe might be held back. But yeah, I think there's definitely selection headaches, which is good. Obviously missing the two Tongan boys as well, aren't we?
They're doing well
Tonga.
in the
Yeah.
Pacific Nations Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, the one scored as well, didn't he, the other day, which was good. So yeah, that's positive to see. Yeah, excited to see them come back as well and have an impact. But yeah, I think there's a couple of positions up for grabs, but also like the back three is actually pretty tough to pick now. Like I think Angus goes in at 15, but Hugh Anderson is hopefully pushing him really hard in training. You know, I think we've got a bit of talent on the wings, especially with someone like Harry Rees-Weldon coming through.
Yeah, I think it's really hard now because I've been asked this question by a couple of people on the WhatsApp group. What's your strongest Dragons team, do you think, this season? And when you look at it, it's really hard to pick because, Steph Thomas from Wales Online, I don't know if you saw it, did his strongest Dragons team.
Yes.
Dylan Lewis, Welsh National, wasn't even in it.
Yeah, I didn't quite agree with Steph's team, to be honest, because I think Dylan Lewis, for me, has come in as first choice tired. I mean, I think Rob Hunt will have a point to prove. I think he's going to be a strong scrummager.
But
Chris
you got
Coleman,
Super Chrissy
Coleman, yeah. Recent Welsh international, I think. Big year for Chris, actually.
Yeah.
Like, let's see you kick on, Chris, because you've got a bit of weight behind you now in the second row. We're not like there like we have been, like with kids. That's a tough task, having a couple of kids pushing you. He's got the stability now at loosehead as well, with Wynn coming in. The hookers have got experience. He's got good competition at tight head, which should help him. Like, let's go on and have a good season. Let's hope, if injuries aside, he shouldn't just have to carry the load like he did last year. But let's have an impact. Let's go and impact games. Like, let's now show that you can step up to international, have impact at club level. I think it is, make or break almost for Chris this year. I'd love to see him kick on now and really show some good form for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Thomas Young as well nailed at 7, I would say.
Yeah, some people prefer Woodman at 6. I would go for Shane Lewis.
Shane Lewis Hughes, think he's been
terrific
an awesome signing
from Cardiff. I think he's been reborn.
And Woodman, fantastic player, but he's still young. There's you don't need a youngster to start in every. He'll get plenty of game time throughout the season. But yeah, Shane Lewis Hughes, Wayne.
But it's hard now to pick.
Young.
Yeah, it's hard to pick. With everyone fit and available, now of course there will be injuries, and we'll talk about this next week. There will be the inevitable injury crisis at the Dragons. It happen every year. But with everyone fit and available, you sit down now and you look at our squad and you think, okay, let's pick a team. It's very hard to do. Whereas before it'd be quite simple because you never had any depth. So you knew who was started at Lucid. You knew you could pick the team easy because it used to pick itself. But now it feels like, I don't want to jinx it, but it feels like there's some genuine depth now. If Robert Hunt goes well, Chris Coleman could miss out, or Dylan could miss out. It's tricky.
And you're talking about depth in really important positions. Yeah. We haven't had depth in the pack before, so it's great. We
look really strong at lock, mind. Really strong.
Yeah, very happy with the lock. Again, Steph Thomas didn't have Seb starting. I think it was Seb or Ben Carter for me.
That would be my starting second row.
Yeah, I think that should be.
We're sort of jumping ahead now because we should be talking about this next week. So it's my fault. It's my fault. So good luck to Dragons away Hartbury and then Scarlets at home. As I understand, the terrace isn't open for that one, is it? It's all busy. I wonder why that is. Wonder why that. There's obviously a reason for it, but I wonder why they haven't opening the terrace for that one. Strange. All I ask, right? I'm not bothered about results in pre-season because it's just pre-season, isn't it? But please, no injuries. That's all I ask. Do not get injured, please.
Yeah.
To the Tongan boys, don't get injured. I'm praying that they have a poor campaign and they come home early so we can get them back in camp. I want them to. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? I hope you flop when you come back in one piece, Don't go.
Dear me.
Don't do too well in the tournament, please.
Yeah.
Because there is a chance we won't have him for Ulster away at the first game of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we'll get into it next week, but we need to be targeting those home games as well, don't we? But yeah, let's hope they can come back in one piece. And yeah, it is a nervy time in preseason. The boys have got to play. You have to have a hit out, but just be like, yeah, you've made a tackle. Get off now. Wrap you up in cotton wool with a few of them. But yeah, I'm excited to see how we go. And yeah, it's not about results the next 2 weeks.
No, I'm just interested to see the team sheets and what they look like, because I know last year we played a lot of youth as well, didn't we? Like Owen Conker was playing, and we played a lot of kids, but then they hardly featured for the Dragons in the regular season. So
Owen Conker, I mean, our back row depth, the youngsters we've got coming through in the back row is absolutely
I'm
immense.
a big fan of Owen Conker. I think he's a very talented young player. He's a very tidy prospect. Said that today on the socials as well. It's his birthday today, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Owen. Yeah, happy birthday. But and his dad, it's always nice here. He responds as well on the socials.
Yeah, he seems a good prospect. Obviously, players like Minto, Bedell, and I mean Ryan Jones underneath that, and then there'll be even more, won't there? So we do love producing back rowers in Gwent, to be fair.
Yeah, I think back row is an area where Dragons has never faltered in.
No,
we will always produce strong players in the back row. That's one thing you can't. That's one criticism you can't level at the Dragons. So we're not producing quality back rowers, because that's something that we've always done. So yeah, okay. I think we'll leave it there. We were going to do a short pod, but it's ended up being one of those long ones again, isn't it? But that's absolutely fine. We felt it was important to do a reaction to that statement because it is pretty significant. And I know, Gareth, you've been gagging to do a pod, haven't you? Because you've been as bad as some of the listeners. When's the next one? When we record it next? When we do it? We're going to do it tonight. Let's just do it tonight and go over with. But no,
excited.
I know. But yeah, well done, Dragons. Good statement.
Yes.
And let's hope the others follow.
Yeah, and Dragons, if there is anything we can do as fans, tell us. We need to voice our opinion. And for any fans listening, again, I know I've said it before, voice your opinions. Let's not go quietly. Let's literally shout at the WRU until they have to keep us.
There's too much at stake to go quietly.
Exactly.
There's a lot of livelihoods as well at risk.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely important that we keep on fighting a good fight. And that means the players have to do the same on the field. We've done a lot of talking off the field. Now it's time to see the talking be done on the field, because that will help our cause a lot if we can do that.
Spot on.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you, Gareth, for this pod at short notice. And thank you to our friends at Riverside Sports Bar for their continued support of the podcast. Thank you to our listeners. Yes, I know we've been gone a while and you've been asking me when's the next pod. Well, here it is. I hope you're happy now. And then we'll come back next week where we'll discuss the squad in greater detail and do a big season preview. Hoping to have a guest on with us as well for that. So until next time, thank you for listening and we'll catch you on the next one. Ta-ra.